Grizz Nation, it's time to send Ja, Jaren, and Dez to the 2025 All-Star Game.
Oh! What did we just see, partner?
Take three! Take three!
Bane for three. Bingo! Desmond Bane heating it up.
Blocked by Jaren.
Most versatile power forward in the game today.
Head to NBA.com/vote, the NBA app, or simply use the QR code on the screen to send your Grizzlies to the All-Star Game today.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, one exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Ring in the new year at Southland Casino Hotel to win your share of over $100,000 in free play, cash, or a 2025 Lexus. On New Year's Eve, we're turning up the energy with incredible entertainment. Dance the night away to the beats of DJ Epic, Jerome Chisholm and the M-Town Band, and an electrifying performance from Troy Laz. There's only one place to win when the clock strikes midnight, Southland Casino Hotel.
Must be 21 plus. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Live from the Built Ford Tough studio at FedEx Forum, it's the Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Gary Parrish.
All right. I'm here. My name is Gary Parrish. I'm speaking to you from Midtown Manhattan, New York City. Bennett Doyle back in the Bill Ford Tough studio, producing the program. Glad he's with me. Glad you're with me. Hope you get through the day best you can. And I hope you didn't think the Grizzlies' little two-game losing streak was going to turn into a three-game losing streak, because that didn't happen last night inside FedEx Forum, in part because of a career night from Jaren Jackson Jr. The seventh-year big out of Michigan State went big again, led the Grizzlies to a victory over the Dallas Mavericks, and it's just the latest performance that suggests, yes, he's going to be at the Chase Center next month representing the Grizzlies in the 2025 NBA All-Star Game. We'll talk about it momentarily. First, real quickly, let me set today's schedule for you. When we finish this over, we're going to take a break, come back to 5 more things you need to know, which one we're going to discuss. 5 previously undiscussed stories, among them Monday Night Raw made its Netflix debut last night. Rhea Ripley won her title back. Roman Reigns regained the Ula Fala, and Hulk Hogan was hilariously moved out of the arena. You got to know where you are. I don't think Hulk Hogan knew where he was. Fun show. We'll spend some time on that in about 20 minutes. Big night in college basketball on tap tonight. Undefeated and top-ranked Tennessee Vols are underdogs on the road. I'll get you ready for Tennessee, Florida. We'll do that in just a bit. Tom Holland and Zendaya are officially engaged. Huge win for short kings like myself. We'll celebrate this 5'8" giant. We'll do it in the next segment. Congrats to Brent Rooker, ECS graduate, Mississippi State alum, signed a 5-year, $60 million contract extension with the Athletics. Finally getting the big payday he deserves at the age of 30. I'll tell you more about that. We'll do it a little later on in the show. And the Tomorrow Golf League, a reimagined version of golf created by Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy, going to make its debut tonight live in Florida on ESPN. I'll tell you a little bit more about that. We'll do it during a segment we call 5 More Things You Need to Know. Then we'll eventually do GP's Carryout, and we'll call it a day. So that's the rundown. We got a lot to get to, but I did want to start with your Memphis Grizzlies, because Game 37 of a scheduled 82, it was held last night Inside FedEx Forum, as predicted, as expected, the two-game losing streak, it came to an end. Final score was Grizz 119, Mavericks 104, in a game in which the Grizzlies were missing John Morant, Desmond Bane, and the Mavs were missing Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. There was only one all-star level dude on the court. His name was Jaren Jackson Jr., and he was great again. Seventh-year professional out of Michigan State. He took 23 shots. He made 13 of them, finished with 35 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals. He had a block. No Grizzlies player had ever hit each of those numbers in each of those categories in a game before last night. Beyond that, there were 9 games in the NBA last night, 18 teams, 90 starters, none of them, not Kevin Durant, not Devin Booker, Paul George, Anthony Edwards, Zach LaVine, Tyler Hero, DeMar DeRozan, Damian Lillard, Jalen Brunson. Not a single player who played basketball last night had a better all-around night than Jaren Jackson Jr., and it came at a win, which makes it even better. So the Grizzlies are now 24-13 on the season, 15-4 at home, alone in third Western Conference standings, just percentage points behind the Houston Rockets. Big Bet Bennett, you were inside the building last night. Is it fair to say that that was the latest performance that's going to make it hard, very difficult, to keep Jaren Jackson Jr. from making his second All-Star team?
Oh, I mean, if he doesn't, we riot. It's that simple.
Bennett, I know January 6th was yesterday, and you're fired up. I know you're fired up.
I'm
January
itching.
6th was yesterday.
I dare them to leave him out.
Let's. How many times are you gonna riot in your adult life?
Not enough if he doesn't make an All-Star team.
I know January 6th was yesterday, but man, I didn't expect to hear riot so quickly into this show today.
No, man, he was awesome last night. He's he's the most important player on this team this season. It is that simple. He's been the most available on this team, and he's been awesome pretty much every night. I mean, there has not been that many bad Jaren Jackson Jr. performances this season. He's been great. And last night, Elliot Perry made a good point on the broadcast talking about, what's happened this year, what's different. And he said that Jaren's playing with way more physicality than, especially since his first couple seasons in the league. Now, part of that is obviously because he's had an NBA workout plan for many years, and he's massive and can push dudes around now. But you notice it during the games. He takes it to other players. He will he'll throw that elbow into you, and guys, more often than not, are moving backwards when they're trying to defend Jaren. So I think that was a great point by EP. He's playing with a level of physicality that I think people have wanted to see for a while from him, and it's happening this season.
I don't know if it comes across on television as clearly as it comes across in person, but the truth is, he's big through here. He's just really big through here and strong, and he'll put that into people now in a way that, frankly, he couldn't do it earlier in his career. And he has reached a point where it really does look like he believes if he gets the ball in space and you just let him go, there aren't many people in the world who can guard him now. He's averaging a career high 22.7 points, 6.4 rebounds, 2 assists, 1.6 blocks, 1.5 steals in 29 minutes per game. They were up a little bit last night, but still in the season, 29 minutes per game. He's not blocking as many shots as he did 2 years ago when he was the Defensive Player of the Year, but the steals are up, points are up, and he's really just a totally different player on the offensive end and quickly becoming, like I said, one of the toughest matchups in the world. He had 13 made field goals last night. 13. 10 of them were more or less isolation plays. Just give him the ball, give him space, and he's tough to deal with. You see it, you do, Bennett, in person every home game. Do you notice more isolation, more playmaking from the 6'10" forward? Obviously, I can give you all the data that suggests it's there, but to the eye, is it something you see when you're just watching the games?
Yeah, they're playing through him way more than they have in the past. Now, some of that is him taking that assignment on. Like some of that is just him wanting to get to the rim. But yeah, they're playing through. I mean, last night they had to have him be the best player, right? Like he had to be the guy last night. He had to be the focal point of the offense, and it worked out for the Grizzlies. But yeah, I definitely noticed that way more this season. He's making it a point to embrace these one-on-one matchups, man. He's, like you said, he's a walking mismatch.
And think about this. How many teams in the league actually have three guys who you can throw it to, tell the other four dudes to get out of the way, and he can go score?
Right.
Because the Grizzlies have three right now. They're not always healthy. They don't play together often. But, our hope, fingers crossed, is that by the time we get to the playoffs and the Grizzlies are the 2 seed or the 3 seed or the 6 seed or whatever, that, you're in a 7-game series against whatever the opponent, and Ja Morant, Desmond Bain, Jaren Jackson Jr. are all healthy. And this is how much things have changed just in recent years. For a while, it was just the easy bullet point to go back to. The Grizzlies finished second in the West, and then second in the West again, and then last year was all the injuries. And right now, they're like percentage points out of second in the West, like literally just percentage points. They could flip it by Thursday night. We'll talk about that in a minute. But it was always like they're second in the West, second in the West. But 2 years ago, when they finished second in the West, 3 years ago, when they finished second in the West, I'm asking this question from an honest place. You correct me if I'm wrong. How many dudes on the Grizzlies roster could you say that about? Hey, you can throw them the ball, get everybody else out of the way, and you can feel confident that guy's going to score, or else they're going to have to run somebody at him because there's almost nobody in the world that's going to be able to guard him one-on-one. I don't know that you could say that about Desmond Bain 2 or 3 years ago.
I don't think so. I think it's one guy, and that was Ja.
I think so.
Yeah.
And yet they still finished second in the West. Now they got a chance to finish second in the West. If they get healthier and maintain it, I think they will finish second in the West. I think first is becoming out of reach, but they can finish second in the West for the third time in a 4-year span. But this team will be built so differently, and not just because of a different style of play, more threes, faster tempo, but because you now have three guys in your starting lineup, when healthy, who can clear out and play one-on-one basketball and score. That is an incredible value to have in professional basketball, particularly when you get into the postseason where everything is more difficult. I don't know if you could rely on Desmond Bain to go get you big buckets in tight late game situations 2 or 3 years ago, even when the Grizzlies were finishing second in the West, but he can do that now. I don't know that you could ask Jaren Jackson Jr. to go get you big buckets in tight late game situations 2 or 3 years ago, and he'd be comfortable doing it the way he's comfortable doing it now. But right now, he's one of the best one-on-one players in the world. If you're too big, he's too quick. If you're too small, he's too big. And obviously, Ja Morant has been able to play one-on-one and score on his guy, like literally since the day he stepped into the NBA. It's never been an issue. So, like, whether the Grizzlies make a big move to add a wing or not, when healthy, they have 3 all-star level guys, 3 guys who can go out and get buckets by themselves, and that's going to make them not impossible to stop or slow down, but very, very difficult. Again, last night, just the latest reminder, 13 field goals for Jaren Jackson Jr. 10 of the 13 were basically isolation plays. Next up for the Grizzlies, good one, Thursday night. Dillon Brooks and the Rockets going to come to town. This is one of the 2 teams in the West that the Grizzlies are chasing. And really, if we're being honest, the only team that they're probably chasing right now, because just nobody's catching Oklahoma City.
They're not. No, you're right. Okay. They're not.
How about this? The Rockets have already lost 12 games. The Grizzlies have already lost 13. The Grizzlies and Rockets play Thursday night. So either the Rockets are going to have 13 losses or the Grizzlies are going to have 14, whatever. Oklahoma City's only got 5. We're nearly halfway through the season. They might not even lose 12 or 13 games. It is possible. I'm not predicting this, but like it is possible the Grizzlies could go undefeated the rest of the way and not catch Oklahoma City.
That's crazy. That is crazy. The next time the next time we play them is February 8th, the Thunder. I really hope both teams are at full strength for that game, because we didn't get to see it in the last one when they blasted us. And I want a better gauge of what that could look like as a potential playoff matchup, because I'm honestly, GP, like I know I was kind of sour about the Jimmy Butler thing last week, but I'm starting to maybe come over to that side a little bit more, just because I think this Thunder team is really, really good. Like, I hate them, but I think they're really, really that good.
They are really good.
Yeah.
Again, the Grizzlies have already lost 13 times.
Yeah.
The Thunder have only lost 5 of their first 35 games. So you just do the math on that. If they were to play at this rate, and I don't want to say I can't imagine them playing at this rate, but it's a hard pace to keep up. They're winning 85.7% of their games. I don't think they're going to keep up that pace. But like, if you just, do the math on it, 30-5 turns into 60-10. They're still 3 games up on you if you never lose. So
insane.
You probably can't catch them. I don't think anybody can catch them, but you can finish second in the West again. And Thursday night will, play a role in that.
Big game.
The Rockets are, again, just percentage points ahead of the Grizzlies. They're at Washington tonight, double-digit favorite on the road, so should win that one. So the Rockets will likely enter FedEx Forum with a 24-12 record and be a half game better than the Grizzlies, meaning if the Grizzlies can win Thursday night at home, they will go to bed Thursday night, wake up Friday alone in second in the Western Conference standings, despite Ja Morant playing in only 20 of what will be at that point the team's first 38 games. All things considered, that's great. Taylor Jenkins and the coaching staff deserve a lot of credit for having them in this position, as does the front office for, finding off the radar college players that can fill the gaps like Santi Aldama and Jalen Wells. These are not prospects many people were talking about heading into their drafts. They've both been excellent value picks based on where they were, particularly Jalen Wells, who, was a second-round rookie starting for a Western Conference contender. The front office also deserves credit for identifying G League standouts and elevating them. Guys like Scottie Pippen Jr. and Jay Huff. Desmond Bane's obviously been a big part of this when healthy. Zach Edey has been nice when available. But just to circle back to the top, the biggest reason the Grizzlies are sitting here 24-13 through 37 games, even though Ja Morant's only played 20, is because of Jaren Jackson Jr., the soon-to-be, I'm certain, 2-time All-Star. He's just been absolutely terrific. He was especially so last night.
Yeah.
25 years old, got his first 30, 10, and 5 game of his career last night. And again, the latest performance that should have him inside the Chase Center as an NBA All-Star for the second time in his career. That's going to be February 16th, 5 weeks from Sunday.
Hey, by the way, we play Houston 3 times this month. So that's I bet you're going to see some fireworks. I bet you're going to see some fireworks in these upcoming games.
Hard not to see fireworks when the Grizzlies and Rockets and Dillon Brooks all convene, isn't it?
Yeah, I bet it gets a little testy. We play so we got the one coming up Thursday. Then Monday we play them in Houston, and then play them again at the end of the month on the 30th here.
Hey, Bennett, it's 2025. You think I'm afraid of things getting testy?
It's a good this month's a good opportunity to lock up that 2 seed, man.
Well, I don't know if you can lock up anything in January.
I know, but I'm saying you got 3 games against the team right there ahead of you. Like you can put some distance on this thing.
Bennett, I like where your head's at.
Yeah,
I like where your head's at. Let's put some distance.
Let's put some distance on this thing.
Probably can't catch the Thunder, but we can create some distance between the Grizzlies and Rockets, and
yeah.
I suspect that's what we're going to try to do. Hey, let's turn our attention to the big thing from Monday night. It was the debut of Raw on Netflix. Mm-hmm. Historic night in the history of streaming television and professional wrestling. Hulk Hogan was hilariously booed. Completely out of the place. We'll get Bennett's thoughts on that. It's the Gary Parrish Show. I'm in New York. He's in Memphis. We're presented by Ortho South.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing compares to catching your Grizzlies IRL. And that all starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight. Put that jersey collection to use for the next game and get Grizzlies tickets at Ticketmaster. Whether they're here at FedEx Forum or on the road, Ticketmaster's got your back when it comes to scoring tickets. And there's no better brag than saying you saw it live. Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Our fans have a huge impact on our ability to play to the level that we're striving for.
Drop off, Durant. Oh! Well, you wanted home crowd involvement.
I love those moments where you see our guys engaging in the fans and the fans just get pumped up.
They are standing in FedEx Forum.
I would hate to be on the other side with the opposition when FedEx Forum's rolling. That's such an unbelievable relationship that our group has with our fans.
Anticipate each challenge, make a quick response, capitalize on every opportunity, and win. Greatness won't wait. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st, and you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
Orthopedic injuries can be unpredictable, unforeseen, and unscheduled, and Ortho South understands this better than anyone. Since your injuries don't make appointments, you don't need to either, and that's because Ortho South welcomes walk-ins during the weekdays and the evenings and even on Saturday. So next time an unforeseen injury makes an unscheduled appearance in your life, visit orthosouth.org to find your nearest urgent care location. Just walk in, and Ortho South will take care of everything, especially you. Learn more at orthosouth.org. That's orthosouth at orthosouth.org. Now I got 5 more things you need to know.
Number 1.
Oh, Bennett, it was a historic night in the history of streaming television, a historic night in the history of professional wrestling. Raw made its debut on Netflix. I know you were inside FedEx Forum. Did you get a chance to put your eyeballs on it at all?
Yes, I watched the whole thing on my phone. Don't tell anyone I work with.
I'm not gonna tell anybody you work with.
No, Eric was cool. He looked at me a couple times like, "You there?" But I'm good. I can multitask.
Hey, buddy, I watch you do it every day. You
exactly.
You're in that,
yeah, you know.
I look over at you every day. You down there in that chat, not even paying attention to a word I'm saying.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I watched it. Yeah.
It was a fun night on Netflix, wasn't it?
It was really good. They did a really good job. Triple H even acknowledged afterwards when they did the press conference, it's probably not going to be this big every week. We recognize that this is a massive event, but it was really good, man. A good mix of bringing back the old guy. I will say one massive disappointment. I don't know what the disconnect is here. I would like some intel. I got to ask Devin Walker about this. Why was Stone Cold not there? I mean, that dude, he is Monday Night Raw. Come on, man. The Monday Night Wars, Stone Cold got them out of that. Him and The Rock are the reason that WWE won over WCW. I don't know, man. I don't know.
I can't speak to Stone Cold Steve Austin's absence. Nobody has broached the topic with me. I can't speak to his absence, but let's rather than worry about who wasn't there, Bennett, why wouldn't you like to celebrate who was there?
Yeah, okay. I'm ready to celebrate.
The Undertaker made an appearance with Rhea Ripley after she regained her women's title.
Not only the Undertaker, the American Badass Undertaker. Yeah, that's a rare appearance.
Rhea Ripley gets her title back. I think much deserved. Don't you believe it was much deserved?
Of course. Come on, you expect me to believe that Liv Morgan can beat Rhea Ripley in a one-on-one matchup? Give me a break.
Well, that is a real problem between those two. Is like she's just so much bigger than the other.
Like come on, what are you talking about? Of course she's got to win her title back.
Like if this were a boxing match, we'd say you can't do this. This isn't fair. This isn't fair. You two people don't belong in a boxing ring together.
Right.
But because it's wrestling, we put poor little Liv Morgan. I mean, she's a Hooters waitress for crying out loud, and she's in there with Rhea Ripley, and Rhea Ripley's like all dyed black and like big and muscular, and Rhea Ripley, great wrestling star because she's big and muscular and strong. But also, I mean, forgive me if I'm out of line, but also like attractive, right? Right? I mean, what's the nicest way to say she's hot?
Who, Rhea?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's no question about that.
Okay, so I'm just saying she has the physical physique of a wrestler.
Yep.
Like, oh man, she could beat your ass, but then she's also a beautiful woman.
I agree.
I could tell you agree. I can see it in your eyes.
I like Rhea Ripley. I've been a fan since day one.
I love Rhea Ripley. So now we got two champions on the women's side. It's Rhea Ripley, and Tiffy time.
Was she there? She was there last night.
She was there last night. She cashed in last week, but she cashed in. She's now the champ.
It's
Tiffy time. It's Tiffy time right now, Bennett. You don't even know it's Tiffy time.
I didn't even realize.
Okay, so Rhea Ripley got her title back. Happy for her. Roman Reigns got back the Uafala.
Is that how you say it? Uafala? That the red necklace thing. That was cool. That was cool.
The Rock put it on him.
I thought he was going to turn his back. I was waiting for him to punch Roman in the back. I was waiting for it, but it never happened. It was a nice moment.
Give it time. John Cena announced that he is going to enter the Royal Rumble and predicted that he will win the Royal Rumble.
Love it.
Which feels like they're a little gimmicky to get him another title shot and to maybe get him the record number of titles. Like he even explained last night, like I haven't been doing enough to deserve a title shot, but like it doesn't matter what you deserve. If you win the Royal Rumble, you get one. So maybe I win the Royal Rumble and I get one. So is that where we're headed? John Cena's going to win the Royal Rumble?
No, I don't think so. I don't think WWE is going to give him that. I think that something controversial will happen. Someone will eliminate him or cheat or something like that, and that'll set up whatever his big WrestleMania match is. I don't think John Cena is going to wrestle for a title. Because obviously this is his farewell tour, so they're obviously not going to put the belt on him, and so there's nothing to anticipate, right? Like they're not going to put the belt on a guy that's retiring. So I think that it'll be something else. He's not going to fight for a title at WrestleMania.
Okay, I don't know. How would I know? Do I look like a wrestling expert? I'm just saying he wants to.
I dabble in it.
You dabble in wrestling expertise.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know what John Cena is going to do, but he's got his sights set on Royal Rumble. He's going to be in the Royal Rumble. He wants to win it.
Good, love Cena.
The big headline out of last night, like if you just did a Google search and were like, "Hey,
should have brought Stone Cold in."
What was the biggest thing that happened at the debut of Raw on Netflix last night? If you were to ask that question, just Google that, maybe ask AI or whatever. It would tell you that Hulk Hogan got booed out of the play. That was awkward, wasn't it?
But not shocking at all. I mean, it was in LA.
That's the thing. You got to know where you're at.
Yeah, you got to know your crowd. But here's the thing, though, dude, is I don't even think that this has as much to do with like his political stance. I think that people are just tired of Hulk Hogan and don't really like him because The Undertaker's like a massive Republican. He had Trump on his podcast. They didn't boo him. They cheered for him. Like I don't think it's that as much as people just don't really like Hulk Hogan. That's what I think.
I think you're right in the sense that it is not only the Trump stuff, and it's not only the Republican National Convention stuff. I mean, I think it'd be silly to suggest that plays no role whatsoever.
Sure, when you're in L.A., I get that.
When you're in L.A., but I think it is more than that. And it was vicious. I actually thought he handled it as well as he could. He seemed a little surprised at first, which suggested maybe somebody should have talked to him, like, hey, this might not go well. He didn't seem to suspect that it might not go well. And he was out there pitching beer. The whole thing was weird. But somebody should have probably said, hey, we're in L.A. You know, if we were doing this at, in Nashville, it might go differently. Mm-hmm. But we're in L.A., and you might not be greeted fondly. Like Donald Trump, for all the appearances he makes at sporting events, he ain't going to a Knicks game, you know? Mm-hmm. You ain't going to see Donald Trump on Celebrity Row at Madison Square Garden. You're not going to see Donald Trump, at a Lakers game sitting courtside.
I swear to God, for a second, there was a second there last night. I thought they were going to bring him out, that he was going to make a surprise appearance. But then I was like, wait, no, they're in L.A. They're in California.
You could maybe do it what are they doing? Royal Rumble in Indianapolis? You could maybe do it in Indianapolis.
You could probably do it there. Yeah, you could probably do it there.
But like when Donald Trump goes to sporting events, it's like, and Donald Trump's going to be at the Alabama game this weekend. Like he's in Tuscaloosa. Well, that makes sense. You got to know where you're at. Mm-hmm. That was one of the weirdest things for me, just sort of experiencing the first time he was elected president, because I just remember sitting at home watching the news, and I went and voted in Mississippi, and I was clearly an outsider, in my surroundings. As I stood in line and as I all that stuff, I knew most of these people are voting the opposite of me. And I didn't feel anything, but I felt very much like an outsider. And then I remember turning on cable news, and Donald Trump was here in New York City, and he was going to vote, and he was getting heckled in the streets. They were like, yeah. And I was like, this is such a weird thing, because if he were voting where I was voting, people would be celebrating him and like chanting his name. And it would be like the king just walked in. But because he's voting in a different place, he's literally getting heckled as he walks into the place. And he's doing the exact same thing he would be doing. He's just doing it in a place where it's not well received here. But if he was doing it where I'm doing it, it'd be like God has arrived. And that's what last night was a reminder of. You got to know where you're at. You can go vote in Mississippi as Donald Trump and you're the biggest thing in the world, but you try to do it in Midtown Manhattan and people boo you when you do it.
Yeah.
You can be Hulk Hogan at a wrestling event in Nashville and it probably goes just fine. But you try to do it in Los Angeles and buddy, they wouldn't let up. He finally just decided to fight through it and just do his pitch and just get through it and not worry about it. But it was awkward.
Mouth of the South didn't deserve that. Jimmy Hart didn't deserve that.
Guilt by association.
No, man. We love Mouth of the South in these parts.
I love the Mouth of the South.
Yeah, man. Come on.
I do not hold anything against him, but you got to know where you are. And where was he last night? You're going to be standing next to Hulk Hogan in Los Angeles. And again, it's not just the political stuff. You could Google Hulk Hogan. He's done some pretty despicable stuff in his adult life. I'm not here to judge another man.
Yeah, that video.
But I do have Google.
Yeah,
I'm not here
video. Oof.
I'm not here to judge another man. But I do have Google.
People don't forget.
I mean, sometimes they do.
People don't forget. And but the beer thing's annoying too. Again, like why was Stone Cold not there? He's got his own beer.
Bennett, you're going to have to take this up with
He's the beer guy. Hulkster, all due respect, you're not the beer guy. All right? In wrestling, Stone Cold's the beer guy, not you.
You keep asking me questions that I can't answer about Stone Cold Steve Austin. These are questions you need to direct.
I was hurt, man. I was waiting on him to come out last night.
Wow.
He's my favorite wrestler of all time, and many people's favorite wrestler of all time. Where was he, Triple H? We need answers.
All right, listen. I'll see if I can find out something. I'll see if I can find out. I'm not a wrestling expert, but I do have friends who host wrestling podcasts. Mm-hmm. And, I do have acquaintances who work in the industry. So I'll see what I can find out, Bennett.
Okay.
But just know that I wasn't responsible for that. If it left up to me, I would have had Stone Cold Steve Austin there.
Yeah. And then I thought the main event was really good with Rollins and CM Punk. Yeah, I thought I was really nervous for CM Punk. Like I just, he don't necessarily got it like he used to, but I was nervous about that match for him, and I thought he really held his own there. So I'm excited to see what he does going forward. And he had a great presser afterwards. He's great, man. I'm a big fan.
Like I missed the whole first run of CM Punk. I just wasn't watching wrestling then. I don't want to say I'm a lot like a lot of people because I don't know if it's a lot of people, but I know there are other people like this. I saw somebody, maybe Nate Jones, who works in the NBA circles. He tweeted like, after 20 years of not watching wrestling during the pandemic, remember they were like one of the first live things to come back, And
Yeah.
he was like, I started watching again during the pandemic just because there's nothing to watch, and I got hooked again. Mine's a little different than that. Mine is more tied to my kids. Started watching it on YouTube, and then we started playing the video game on the PS5, and then we started watching it. But I'm very similar to Nate in the sense that I grew up watching it, loving it, probably all the way through college.
Same.
Just stopped for like 20 years.
I had a hiatus too.
And then got back in, and now I can't get enough of it. I mean, I guess I can get enough of it, but I enjoy it. So I missed the first CM Punk run. I had all the initial CM Punk stuff. I have no knowledge of it, but I've gone back and watched some of it. He is like I don't know if he's the best on the mic, but he's certainly one of them.
He's fun.
He's great.
Okay, I wanted to bring this up because I saw this clip, and it was Paul Heyman talking afterwards when they're doing. I like the press conference thing. I do. I don't care how fake it is. I like it. It's fun. It gives it a big event type feel. So him and Roman are doing their press conference, and Paul Heyman said that it's shameful that Roman Reigns should win an Emmy award this year. And I was like, what do you mean they don't give out Emmys for WWE? And then he went through the whole thing, and he was like, this company came back. You mentioned the COVID thing. He led all of that. Like, he got them out of that. You know, when everything was shut down and not everything's showing reruns and stuff like that. WWE's live. Roman's there. He's in front of, like, remember they had the big screens with all the people on Skype and whatever. Like, Roman kept that thing going and then got them out of it, and now it's like as big as it's ever been, and he's still one of the faces of the thing. I think he's got a really good point there. I don't know like where exactly that would fall, where WWE would fall in a category for an Emmy award, but I mean it's one of the biggest shows on television, dude. Like it is one of the biggest, most viewed things on TV. I think it makes a lot of sense.
I have never thought about whether a wrestler should win an Emmy, and I think I would lean toward no. Just no. Just because you're good at acting like a wrestler probably doesn't make you a great actor.
Okay.
But I will say,
but like broadcast, like broadcast win Emmy awards, right? Like sports broadcast win Emmys. Sure. I mean, this is that. I understand. I will tell you, working with people who like direct live sports and produce live sports, they will tell you that if you watch a WWE production, it is top notch. Like they never miss a shot. Just the whole production of the whole thing. Like they can do a live sports event just as well as CBS or NBC can do a live sports event. They're great at it. Mm-hmm. So the production value is incredible. I still like, if you're putting Roman Reigns as an actor up against Kieran Culkin, I think we're being a little silly, right? Who was there last night, by the way, and his brother. No, the Culkins were both there last night.
Did they show Kieran? They
didn't show Kieran. I saw someone took a picture of him. He was sitting front row. Someone took a picture of him in the crowd. But yeah, the Macaulay Culkin. He got the biggest pop of the night, dude. Oh, when he lifted his hat up, it was so good.
So I don't know if we can really, but I will say that Roman Reigns and CM Punk and Seth Rollins are some of the biggest television stars that exist. They just are.
No question.
Because they're on television every week on one of the highest rated cable programs every week.
Yep.
They are some of the biggest television stars that exist. And I don't know if they are compensated that way. I think you'd be surprised to hear what a Roman Reigns or a CM Punk actually make relative to, well, like think about this. Professional basketball players cannot do the type of cable ratings regularly that professional wrestlers do. They can't fill up buildings as regularly as professional wrestlers do. But I promise you, Roman Reigns don't make anything close to what Steph Curry makes.
Mm.
Interesting. Yeah, like there is a alternative universe where the biggest star in wrestling should be making Steph Curry like money. Maybe that's extreme, but like more than what they make. I think the whole business is kind of fascinating when you start diving into like the ins and outs of it. But whatever. Last night, fun night, and it was the first example of they can take this thing wherever they want to take it. I think last night they went well over 2 hours, but they have said that sometimes it could be 2, sometimes it could be 3. We'll see, but there were no streaming glitches that people have previously been concerned about. Most of the stars were there. Big production. They seem to pull it off well. Happy for Monday Night Raw, and we'll see where it goes from here.
Number 2.
Big night in the SEC tonight. College basketball.
Okay.
Number 1 undefeated Tennessee is on the road, playing Florida. Only undefeated team in America, ranked number 1 in the country. Slight underdog against the Gators in the O-Dome down in Gainesville. Just another night where if you turn it on, you'll probably hear whoever's calling the game. Once again, remind you that the SEC is the best conference in the country, and this is a perfect way to illustrate that. The number 1 team in the country is from the SEC. So is the number 2, by the way. But the number 1 team in the country is the only undefeated team in the country. They've already won at Illinois, which might be the best Big Ten team. And even that team, undefeated number 1, can't be a favorite on the road against the Florida team that most people don't even think is even a top 2 or 3 team in the SEC. Do you realize right now, we were talking about quadrant 1 victories and quadrant 1 opportunities and all that stuff yesterday. Do you realize right now that if you are an SEC team, every road game you play, except for at South Carolina, is a quadrant 1 opportunity? Every one.
That's wild.
Like, for Memphis going forward, almost nothing in terms of good quadrant 1 and quadrant 2 opportunities in the AAC. But in the SEC, it's almost every game. That's how deep the league is. Right now, Jerry Palm has 12 SEC teams projected to make the NCAA tournament. That would be a record. And if you start trying to figure out, like, okay, how did this happen? It's interesting right now. The top 5 SEC teams are Tennessee, Auburn, Alabama, Kentucky, and Florida in some order. You could settle the order, but most people would have them in that order.
Okay.
Or have those 5 in some order. Check this out. It used to be all we talked about was recruiting classes, 5-star prospects, McDonald's All-Americans, top 50 freshmen. That was the biggest conversation in the sport connected to rosters. Who's got the most 5-star freshmen? Who signed the top 10 class? Now none of that stuff matters anymore. The best league in the country, arguably the best league in the history of college basketball, the top 5 teams in it right now, here's what they have in common. Tennessee's leading scorer, Chaz Lanier, transfer from North Florida. Auburn's leading scorer, Janai Broome, transfer from Morehead State. Kentucky's best player, Otega Owe, transfer from Oklahoma. Alabama's best player, Mark Sears, transfer from Ohio. Florida's best player, Walter Clayton, transfer from Iona. You're not winning with you ready? Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey, 2 of the top 3 freshmen in the country, probably going to be they could go number 1 and number 2. But
these are the Rutgers guys, right?
Yeah, and the team stinks.
They suck, right?
Yeah, can't beat anybody.
Say that.
Can't beat anybody. Lost again last night.
Yeah.
The way you used to win is by, at least one of the ways you used to win is just loading up on NBA talent. It's not how you do it anymore. Top 5 teams in the SEC, they're all loaded up with transfers. Older guys, transfers, and I'm not sure any of them are going to be first-round picks in the NBA draft. And yet they're all awesome. Best league in the country, maybe the best league of all time, and it is dominated by not 5-star freshmen, not future NBA players. It is dominated right now by transfers, largely mid-major transfers who are a little older and guiding some of the best teams in the country. Tennessee at Florida tonight. Tennessee slight underdog. I'm going to get Bennett to pick the game.
Okay.
We'll do it during GP's carryout.
Number 3.
Congratulations to Tom Holland and Zendaya. They are officially engaged. Speculation for a while, but confirmed within the past 24 hours. Those 2 little A-list movie stars are going to tie the knot someday. You happy for them?
Very happy. 2 of my favorite people.
You know what? I'm always hesitant to talk about people I don't know. Sometimes hesitant to talk about people I do know.
I think I'd like to hang out with them.
They seem like great folks, don't they?
I think we would have fun. I think that if we went on a double date, me and my wife and Tom and Zendaya, I think we'd have a great time.
What do you think you'd talk about?
I want to believe that. Oh, I don't know. I mean, hopefully, I think we can find some stuff in common. Obviously, I want to talk about movies. Maybe they probably love movies, right?
They're
in
I'm
them
sure
all the time.
movie stars love to sit around and talk about movies with people like you. I'm sure they can't get enough of that.
I could show them my Blu-ray collection. I think that killed an hour. I think they'd like they could find some stuff in there. I've probably got movies with them in them in the collection.
Bennett, I apologize for being skeptical.
I think
Maybe
we can find some common ground.
I think you could probably find some common ground as well.
We can talk about the state of movie theaters. A lot of stuff.
I bet you there's nothing Tom Holland and Zendaya would like to talk to you more about than the state of movie theaters.
Okay, well maybe there's sport. Okay, so maybe it's like a give and take. We can talk a little bit about movies, and then maybe they like sports. I'm sure they're sports fans. I'm sure Tom's a sports fan.
Oh yeah, I'm certain.
Zendaya was at Wimbledon, wasn't she?
I'm sure. I'm surprised you guys don't already know each other, given how much it appears you have in common.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I like them, man.
I think I like them too. I'm always hesitant to talk about people I don't know, and sometimes hesitant to talk about people I do know. But I think I like them. I think I like Tom Holland and Zendaya. And either way, you know what I know I like? I think I would like them, but I don't know them, so I can't say that for sure. But you know what I know I like? Big victory for Short Kings. I mean, this is a big day for Short Kings. Tom Holland's a short
guy. How tall is he?
He's listed at 5'8", but
absolutely not, bro.
I'm
5'9", and I'm way taller than him.
Okay, Tom Holland's a lot like me then, because I think I am technically listed at 5'8", but I don't think I can touch it. Plus, I think I'm shrinking. I think I'm shorter than I used to be.
I'm shrinking too.
Dude, I really am shrinking.
It's your spine becomes compressed. That's what it is. Your discs.
I was hoping my spine would be better than that.
Yeah, that's what happens. That's how you shrink. I always wondered about that because I was like, why are all these old people shorter than me? That doesn't make sense. Was everyone short back in the day? No, they become compressed.
I'm compressed right now. Do you know how I notice it?
We're becoming compressed.
You know how I notice it? The main way I notice it?
Huh.
When I'm just standing next to my wife. Our eyes are not in the same places as they used to be. I'm not even joking. That's true. I don't look down at her as much as I used to. I still tower over her. Don't get it twisted. I still tower over her, but our eyes aren't at the same place anymore. I'm shrinking. I'm compressed. My spine is compressed.
I'm trying to stretch more, to stretch my body. I don't want to shrink at this rapid pace.
I've been stretching. I stretch in the shower. Is that a weird thing to do?
No, it's my biggest fear now is the shrinking thing because I've only come to this realization over the past year that people just shrink as they get older.
I get in the shower and in between brushing my teeth and washing my head, I do still wash my head even though I don't have hair.
I do too.
I stretch. I reach. I try to stretch my spine.
Yeah.
I want my spine to be less compressed. I'd like to be tall again.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm a little bit like Tom Holland in that I think if you look at my driver's license, it says I'm 5'8", but I think if you booked me, I don't think I'd come in at 5'8", you know? So I relate to Tom Holland, not because I know what it's like to be Superman, but because I know what it's like to be short. And here we have a short king, officially 5'8", but skeptical of that. And not only has he landed in first off, not only has he become an A-list movie star, let's just stop there for a second.
Spider-Man, for God's sakes.
And appreciate all seriousness, shortest Spider-Man ever. That's a fact.
He's shorter than Toby?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I've stood next to Toby. You know this.
That's right. I forgot y'all were friends. I forgot.
Yeah, Toby looks down at me, and I look down at Tom.
Gotcha.
Okay. Yes, shorter than Toby. He's the shortest Spider-Man of all time. That's a fact. That's not something I'm just making up. I just don't say things, Bennett. I mean, sometimes I do. But this time I'm not. I Googled that. He is the shortest Spider-Man of all time. Gotcha. Also the youngest Spider-Man of all time. He is both the youngest and shortest Spider-Man of all time. Not only did he become the shortest Spider-Man of all time, which is inspiring, he is now engaged to an A-list movie star, inspiring. Even more so, an A-list movie star who is taller than him.
Yeah.
He convinced Zendaya to be in a lifelong relationship with somebody she has to look down at. Not every woman would be agreeable to that. Trust me,
that is impressive.
How do you do that?
I don't know. That's impressive. He must have the charm.
He must have the charm. It must be difficult. I bet you Zendaya, as she's becoming Zendaya, doesn't think that she's ever going to be looking down at her husband her whole life. You know? I bet she didn't anticipate that. And yet he was able to overcome that. That gives hope to all of us short people out there, because the world is stacked against us right from the jump.
Yeah.
I have never judged myself based on my height, but I know other people do. I know it matters to other people. It's never really mattered to me. Not like I don't walk around like depressed that I'm short. I walk around depressed for other reasons, but not because I'm short.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, like, if it's really bothering you, you can go get that, like, revolutionary surgery that they're doing now where they, like, break your legs and stretch you out. Have you seen that? You seen people doing that?
How tall can I get? Can you get me to 6'3"?
Oh, I think so, dude. I think we can, like, grow you, like, 5 inches, dude.
I sure could use another 5 inches, I'll tell you that.
Like, people are getting their legs broken and stretched out to become taller. That's a thing. I've seen the before and after photos.
Well, it's one of those things. I think if you'd have propositioned me when I was like 19, I'd have been into it. But at this
I can't
point,
let you break my legs.
I'm pretty used to being short at this point,
Yeah.
I don't even realize it anymore.
Right.
I know what, but other people.
And we look at Tom for inspiration.
Yes, that's the point I'm trying to make.
Mm-hmm.
I know this matters to other people, and Tom Holland has broken through for all of us.
Well, not me. I'm not short. I'm 5'9.5".
I know. You ain't as tall as you think.
I'm shrinking.
I told you. I'm just happy. It's nice to see a fellow short man do well. I bet you somewhere along the line somebody told Tom Holland, buddy, you're too short to ever be a superhero. You're too short to ever date a Zendaya. Now look, he's a superhero. He's going to marry a Zendaya. He said when he has kids, he's going to retire from acting. You think he'll do that?
No.
They always say they're going to do that.
That paycheck's too good, man. Come on, where are you going?
I don't know. But I like where his head's at, right?
I do too.
It's been a good year for short people, man. It's been a good year for short people. It ain't always good years for short people, but we've had some real accomplishments from short kings. Tom Holland is engaged to Zendaya. Kendrick got the Super Bowl. We on a good little run, us short people, man. I got a billboard, for crying out loud.
You do got a billboard. That's right.
Us short people are on a good little run, Bennett. I'm not saying I'm not convinced it's going to last forever, but it's feeling good right now.
Number 4.
Hey, congratulations to Brent Rooker, ECS graduate, Mississippi State alum. He was in a studio with Vernon a few weeks back and was great, great guest. 5-year, $60 million extension with the Athletics. Oakland's starting to spend a little bit. They have to.
What do we call them, by the way?
Right now they are the Athletics. They're going to be the Sacramento Athletics. I don't know if that's what they're actually going to be called, but they're going to play in Sacramento for, I believe, 3 years and then move to Las Vegas. Right now, Brent Rooker, this is a fact, is the only human in the world under contract to be a Las Vegas Athletic someday. Good for him.
Good for him. That is pretty cool. I mean, he's probably going to be like the star going into that thing. That's pretty neat.
It is interesting to me how long it often takes baseball players, even great baseball players, to get paid. And he's a good example of this. This dude's 30 years old. He was an all-star at the age of 29 in 2023, so 2 seasons ago.
Mm-hmm.
And do you know what he made that year?
What?
$725,000.
Dang, man.
At the age of 29. That's good money for normal people, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
But not Major League Baseball all-stars, all right? Or just all-stars in professional sports where people make incredible amounts of money. Last season, he made $750,000 and was 10th in AL MVP voting. Aaron Judge won AL MVP and made $40 million. Brent Rooker finished 10th and made $750,000.
It's wild.
So, listen, he's still probably underpaid relative to the way he's been hitting over the past couple of years, but he is going to make, $60 million guaranteed over the next 5, and that means at the age of 35, if it's all over at 35, he's got $60 million guaranteed money.
That's what's wild, dude, and it just goes back to your point about these local base. I mean, this area. I don't think it's even debatable anymore that this area produces more professional baseball players than basketball players.
We got Austin Riley on a $200 million contract. We got Brent Rooker on a $60 million contract. Go try to find the Memphis basketball players on similar contracts.
Right.
You can't, we like to think of ourselves as a basketball city. Basketball is the most important sport in our city. Mm-hmm. But what do we produce most? Baseball players. We produce more good baseball players than we do anything else. I think that's true. Golfers, you might want to look into golfers. We're pretty good at that too. But baseball players, our area is an incredible area for baseball, and it starts young. It's so stupid.
I can't get involved.
You shouldn't. I'm telling you right now, you shouldn't.
Can't. I already know. Like, I've talked to too many people. I know you're involved in that world too, and I was just like, I just don't think financially I can get involved.
Well, this is one where we sort of have noticed this too, because we're the old parents.
Yeah, I got you.
When Aiden was this age, if I'm being honest, I don't think we could have afforded to do what we do when Aiden was this age. And now we're the old parents, but we are surrounded by younger people. Like our little guy could be teammates with somebody who's got a 24-year-old dad. Like that, like 25, like that really is happening. Like we have practices with, and I'm the 47-year-old dad, and here's the 25-year-old dad.
Yeah, I got you.
And my wife's the older mother, and then here's a 24-year-old mother, right? And I just know that some of them are struggling the way we were struggling when we were that age. Like life can get hard, and there's real financial challenges. And meantime, everybody's got to have a $400 bat. And you're going to Jackson, Mississippi this weekend and Tupelo this weekend. So the monetary thing is a real problem. Not everybody can afford it, particularly if you're like an appropriately aged parent. I'm not. I'm an old parent for my little guy.
Right.
But like most parents aren't, and it can be hard. But the other thing was just the time commitment. It's January 7th. My youngest son has baseball practice today.
That's crazy. Yeah.
It is crazy. It is crazy. It's insane. But do you want to know how Brent Rooker became Brent Rooker? First off, it's natural ability. Well, I don't know his whole story exactly, but I should say, because sometimes you get twisted up. I'm not trying to imply this is how you become Brent Rooker. You have to have, if you practice baseball all the time, you can become good at baseball. But you can't become a professional baseball player just by practicing all the time. I don't care how much I grew up with people like this. It's like, yeah, you can be a good high school player because your dad had you out there every day, every year. But at the end of the day, like some people can do it and some can't, right? Like at the end of the day, Juan Soto is not Juan Soto because he practiced 20 hours a day his whole life. He's uniquely gifted, and then he puts the work in. But you got to have both. Just working like this ain't going to get you where you want to go. You got to have the natural ability too. Like Austin Riley he could do things that I could never do. I could practice every minute of my life. I could never do what he does. So this isn't the key to becoming that, because you're not going to become that. But like in this area, you can't continue to play baseball at any sort of relevant, in any sort of relevant way, unless you are committed to practicing on January 7th. That's the point. Practicing on January 7th and January 8th and every other day just like this is not going to make you Brent Rooker or Austin Riley. But in this area, the greater Memphis area, you can't continue to play baseball throughout your youth unless you are practicing on January 7th when you're 8 years old. And that is ridiculous. If you cannot get involved, you shouldn't. It's a weird thing to get involved in, because then you get stuck in a situation where this is crazy to be playing baseball every weekend. But if we don't do it, we're not playing baseball anymore. And my kid loves baseball, so what are we going to do? It's tough, Bennett.
Yeah.
It's tough. We all run into our challenges as parents. Some more serious than others.
Yeah, right.
This is one on my list of things. But congratulations to Brent Rooker. That's what we were trying to say. 5 years, $60 million with the Athletics. Well deserved. Big payday.
Number 5.
The Tomorrow Golf League. The reimagined version of golf launched by Tiger Woods and Roy McIlroy makes its debut tonight. They're doing it down in Florida, and it'll be broadcast live on ESPN. Be honest, before I sent you the rundown, did you even know this was happening tonight?
No, I did not.
Right. It's like this thing that when we first heard about it, it was like, oh, wow, this is going to be cool. And it's here, and haven't heard anything about it.
What is it again?
It's the Indoor Golf League.
Oh, so it's like but it's not just teams. Mini golf. They're going to have drive.
Oh, no. It's a golf simulator.
Gotcha.
But like the biggest golf simulator you've ever seen.
Okay.
They put it in an arena. Let me just try to set the scene for you.
Okay.
Imagine FedEx Forum.
Mm-hmm.
They clear out the floor. they put like a 60 by 24 screen in there that is like a golf simulator screen, and that's what Roy McIlroy, Tiger Woods, Max Homa, everybody's hitting into. It's a golf simulator just like any golf simulator you've ever seen at Topgolf or anywhere else.
Gotcha.
Once you get within 50 yards of the pin, now you're playing real golf from different places within the arena floor. They've got bunkers and rough and fairways and fringe and the green, and then it's like you play the hole out in a traditional way, but you get there through a simulator. The capacity crowd's about 1,500, so it's going to be live on TV, live studio audience. There's a shot clock, 40 seconds. So like if you don't strike the ball within 40 seconds, it's a one-shot penalty. Each team does have timeouts. So it's just a way to try to modernize golf, get it in prime time in the winter, and try to make it more attractive for young people. And it may or may not work. I don't know. But my point is it launches tonight. And I wouldn't even know, except for I happened to have the TV on last night, and it was on the ticker.
Okay.
They were promoting it. So I saw it. But there didn't seem to be any real buzz to it at all. And you know what I think the biggest mistake is? So this whole thing is Tiger Woods, Roy McIlroy, simulator golf in an arena. Guess who's not playing tonight?
Tiger.
And
Rory's not playing either. Oh, dude. No, that's crazy. Because you could have billed it as like Tiger's back. You know what I mean? Like you could have had fun with that. That's a big mistake. If they wanted that thing to succeed, they got to play.
And I'm sure there are reasons, but like whatever the reasons, I would have said, okay, well then we have to change our schedule. Because if you can't be there on opening night, we got to bet. Like the NFL season does not open without Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
You know? The NBA season does not open without Steph Curry, LeBron James, whatever. If you have an entire new golf product in prime time on ESPN, how do you launch it without Tiger Woods or Roy McIlroy when they are the faces of it? They're the actual business people behind it. So I just think that's a missed opportunity. There will be people who would watch tonight if it were Tiger and Rory who won't watch tonight because it's not Tiger and Rory or anybody else they care about. But I did sort of notice this. You know who this is not great for? College basketball. Tuesday night's supposed to be big doubleheader on ESPN, and
this is taking the place of college hoops?
At least in part, yeah. Like prime time Tuesday night on ESPN has traditionally been, that's a college basketball game. I believe usually an SEC basketball game. But tonight, you're going to be watching indoor golf.
I do not think that's going to last. We'll
see.
I mean, this feels like in my opinion, we thought this was going to be something different, and so we're signed up for it. Like, let's lock it in for this day. I doubt that it's going to last. I mean, I don't know what the contract is or anything, but I mean, dude, if Tiger Woods, Roy McIlroy, all the biggest names ain't doing this every week, come on, give me a break.
Well,
I'm not watching that.
You better get DraftKings and FanDuel involved. You better have a fantasy component connected to it, a gambling component connected to it. But it's probably not a great sign that there's a new golf thing happening tonight. And I'm a golf fan, and I don't even really care. I'll look at it and see what it was. I'll look at it, but the fact that I don't really care, probably not a good sign if you're trying to draw in people who otherwise don't pay attention to the sport. We'll be back with GP's Carryout.
Somebody who really has done what they were supposed to do, or maybe wasn't expected to do, is Jalen Wells, the Western Conference Rookie of the Month.
What you're seeing right now is him showing that, hey, no matter where I was going to go in the draft, I was going to be ready.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizz Beat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Grizz Nation, it's time to send Ja, Jaren, and Dez to the 2025 All-Star Game.
Oh! What did we just see, partner? Take three! Take three!
Bane for three. Bingo! Desmond Bane heating it up. Blocked by Jaren.
Most versatile power forward in the game today.
Head to NBA.com/vote, the NBA app, or simply use the QR code on the screen to send your Grizzlies to the All-Star Game today.
Our fans have a huge impact on our ability to play to the level that we're striving for.
Drop off, Durant. Oh! Well, you wanted home crowd involvement.
I love those moments where you see our guys engaging in the fans, and the fans just get pumped up.
They are standing in FedEx Forum.
I would hate to be on the other side with the opposition when FedEx Forum's rolling. That's such an unbelievable relationship that our group has with our fans.
When it's all on the line, you turn to the strong, the stable, the unwavering. To those with a history of raising their performance, to meet the moment. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies checking from Pinnacle. Play hard, bank easy.
Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st, and you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
Welcome back to Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South. I'm in New York City. Benadoyo back in Memphis, inside the Bill Ford Tough Studio, producing things. Let's wrap this up with GP's Carryout.
It's time for GP's Carryout. One final segment filled with stuff to take with you. It's not everything you need to know, but it's most of it. What did we learn today?
Whole bunch of stuff, but let me use this space to hit you with some breaking news from the morning. And Big Bet Bennett, I gather you're going to have your new general manager in Nashville with the Titans because they just fired their current general manager. He's now the former.
Dude, I as excited as I was to land the number one pick, I don't know what they're doing as a franchise. I think Amy Adams has got to take a look in the mirror and figure out what direction that they want to take this thing, because here's the thing is Vrabel and Rand Carthen, who they just fired the general manager, like Vrabel was not on board with his plan and didn't think that he was necessarily ready to become a general manager. So they fired Mike Vrabel. The very next season, you know, I don't know what the relationship necessarily was with Rand Carthen and Brian Callahan, but they choose to stick with the coach, Brian Callahan, and now fire the GM, Rand Carthen, who they had just picked over their previous coach. So I just don't understand how they're really running the thing right now. And there was a great tweet by Field Yates just a point that he made. The Titans spent really big in free agency last year. They signed Calvin Ridley, Lloyd Cushenberry, went and traded for L'Jarius Sneed, one of the best corners in the league. And then they tried to win with a quarterback that was clearly not ready and not an NFL level type quarterback. Now they got the number one pick. So are you going to commit to drafting and developing a young quarterback with all these veterans on the roster? Or are you going to move it? Like, what's the direction of this thing? Do you want to rebuild with a young quarterback and get? I don't know what they're doing. It doesn't appear there's any kind of grand plan with this franchise right now. They're just in a bad spot, dude. And I saw Coach Prime tweeted "wow" when the news broke, so that gives me great confidence about Shedeur potentially being a Titan. Like, it's just, the whole thing's disastrous right now.
Oh wow! You hire a GM that you believe in. Perhaps he believes in Shedeur Sanders, and then you're back. And then Shedeur Sanders moves to Nashville and quickly emerges as the next great young quarterback in the league, and then you feel differently, right? That's how that works. This is how it works.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I hope they go out and get the best quarterback in this draft. I hope they can, get this thing going again before 27 when they open that new stadium. But I just have no confidence right now at all, like whatsoever, in this franchise. It just appears to be not well run right now.
Well, Bennett, I hate to hear that you've lost your confidence. I'd like to see you get it back someday. The news this morning, the Titans have fired their general manager. So now they're looking for starting quarterback, a general manager. It looks like they're keeping the coach, but we'll get to that in a minute.
What's today's biggest game?
We'll go college basketball. 6 o'clock Central. It's on ESPN2. This is exactly what I'm talking about. 6 o'clock Central, ESPN2. It's Tennessee at Florida. Top-ranked Vols undefeated 14-0. Florida 13-1, coming off their first loss of the season. That loss was at Kentucky over the weekend. Florida has moved to a 3.5-point favorite.
I don't like that. I don't
like
that.
It was 1.5.
Yeah.
It was 1.5 when it opened. It's at 3.5 now. The total's 148.5. I will give you credit. You won with North Dakota State last night.
Let's go, Bison.
Plus 3.5. Won the FCS title game. Congrats to the Bison. Bison pride is real.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I learned last night. Bison pride is real. That's what I learned last night. Tennessee plus the 3.5 at Florida. How you going to act?
Man, I don't like this. Somebody out for Tennessee tonight? Nothing suggests that.
Nothing big. Nothing big.
I don't think Florida is going to be 0-2 in the SEC. I think they're going to win. Are they going to win by 4 against the number 1 team in the country? I don't know. That line moving like that is really weird to me. I think just go ahead and give me Tennessee.
Then it said take the balls plus the 3.5. Tip is at 6 o'clock ESPN2.
What are we watching on TV?
Hey, if you're not tired of what you've been doing for the past hour and 10 minutes, turn on CBS Sports Network at noon. The Eye on College Basketball Podcast is going to be live on CBS Sports Network from noon to 1. We're actually doing the show every Tuesday going forward from noon to 1. I just got a new television show via email. I didn't even know about it.
How about that? Are y'all going to be, is it going to be a different setup or just same pods?
It's going to look exactly like this, except I'm going to change clothes. Probably take the toboggan off.
That's legit, dude. Look at you, man.
Well, this is like a
got a damn billboard in New York now. Now you got another TV show.
The billboard is connected to that.
Yeah, I got
to help promote the On College Basketball Podcast, bringing it to television. So they could take us in studio. We could go in studio, but they kind of want the podcast feel of it.
Mm-hmm.
So here I am. It'd be better if I were in my home studio, but I'm not. I'm here. So I On College Basketball Podcast live on CBS Sports Network every Tuesday, the rest of the season at noon, starting today. So let's keep this thing moving because I gotta go like shave and stuff.
What's the best thing we've read?
Over at CBSSports.com, they've got for grades for first-year NFL coaches. Gerard Mayo, recently fired by the Patriots. Probably won't surprise you to know he got an F. If you can't survive your first year as a first-year coach, you probably got to get an F if we're handing out grades.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think your coach, Brian Callahan, got down in Nashville?
I'm going to say that he got a solid D+. He
got a solid D, not even a plus, just a D.
Yeah.
Do people believe in him? Like, do you think he's the answer?
I mean, there's just nothing to really go off of if you're not like if you think Will Levis is a bad quarterback, which I do. I don't really know what you can take from Brian Callahan's first season as a head coach. I think you gotta, for better or for worse, let him get his guy in there and see where. I mean, they're sticking with him. It appears they're sticking with Brian Callahan this upcoming season. So I don't know if I'm a believer, but I'm willing to wait it out and see how it goes this season.
How about this? He can't do another season like this season.
No, he'll be gone. No, I think. I mean, dude, I think. Yeah, man. I mean, I think I think they have to have a big turnaround for him to keep his job next year.
If his second year grade as a coach is a D, can't make D's in back-to-back years, buddy.
No.
You'll be a coordinator again real quick.
Yeah, you definitely will. I'm not sure if I'm a believer, but I'm willing to see where it goes.
All right, you can read the NFL grades right now on the NFL page, CBSSports.com.
What's on tap for tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow is Wednesday, so Chris Vernon will join me in the first hour. He'll be in the studio or on Skype or something. I'll be here, and we'll just talk and probably spend some time on the Grizzlies as they get ready for the Houston Rockets to come to town one day later. Should be a fun show. Looking forward to it already. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll try to enjoy mine. And we're going to meet back here tomorrow at 10. Till then, be careful, be kind, be good. Rep your hood.